Hi everyone, welcome to the first level of the Physio Gym Yoga series. So the key thing of this way that I teach this philosophy is that the body is something that has very important elements that we move through. And these systems are taught in yoga philosophy. But as a physiotherapist, I look at these systems and I look at how we can connect into these systems and move more efficiently through it, particularly with someone that looks after people's spine and how their body moves. I want to use these areas of or these energy centers of the body that we can move through to effectively teach you how to take control of your body. Importantly, for this series, the spine comes first. It's not about how far I bend. It's not about how hard I push. It's about building the spine system and the elements within the spine that work off the spine, and then how to use that to be able to move more efficiently as a person. Now, first of all, what we're going to do is start with a very simple beginning stretch to limber ourselves up. So I want you to just see if you can put your hands either in behind the small of the back and then just arch the small of the back so you can feel the back extend. From that position there, you can either have your hands behind the back or even just hands gently on the hips. I want you to keep that extension and just bend forward. Now you can just soften the knees. The most important thing is keeping the back in nice extension. Then when you come down, you're going to round down through the back, curling through the back, and then coming back up, find the extension, and then return back to upright. Once again, find extension in the back, going down. Feel at that moment when your hamstrings stretch, stop there. At that point, curling forward all the way down and then coming back up and then coming back up to an upright position. Now from there, what we're going to do is going to also do a back bend. Start with that small arch in the back. Let the pelvis go slightly forward and then just gently looking up towards the ceiling. Feeling a small stretch in the back. Now you're going to take that extension process forward. Feel the back extending, bend the knees slightly. The key is the extension in the back. And then you're going to come back up to an upright position. Now, from those very basic movements, we're going to start developing our series. First of all, you're going to put the hands behind the back or on the hips, and you're going to start with bending forward. Now, you're going to bend forward, keeping that curve in the back. So in this position, I'm moving forward to here. From there, we're going to then put one hand behind the back and the other hand. So I'll put my left hand behind the back, right hand on my thigh, and then I'm going to rotate to go into an extension position. I'm then going to come back, keeping that back arch, and then I'm going to rotate in the other direction. In this process, I'm really working the extension of the spine, coming back to the center. If I'm doing it from the front, I'm keeping that arch there. Then I'm going to bring my right hand down towards my left leg and then rotate, keeping the extension, coming back, and then towards the other side. Now, if I'm doing this well, you also start seeing that my weight is actually shifting. And we can do a couple of them. Shifting our body weight, shifting our point of rotation. I'm not trying to keep it all still. I'm trying to move, gently moving side to side as I rotate. Now, the position that I have here is what I call arm position number 1, where I'm working with my hand behind the back. So, going forward, I'll go into different arm positions. So here, arm position number 1, keeping the arm behind the back. In this case, it's my left arm staying behind my back. Arm position number 2, the arm will come out to the side and the arm comes up. In this case here, I'm going to use the top arm as an increase or as a lever to get more rotation. Arm position 1, center. Go to the other side, rotate, shift my weight. Bring my right hand out to the side and then increase that extension. Bringing that hand behind the back, center, and then coming upright to extension. Now, one of the best ways to extend the body is through rotation and through side bending. So for people that find it very hard to actually start getting extension through the body, the other way I like starting you off is very simply in side bend. So in this case here, you can put one hand on the hip, lift the other arm up into the air, and let your body tilt towards the side, pushing your hip towards the side. Now once again, when I do the side bending, what I'm looking for is keeping my lower back in extension, and I'm looking for a shape that's starting to occur. I shift my pelvis, shift my spine, and keep moving with my feet. In this case here, as I extend, I'm not going to plant my feet side and go to the side like this. Here, I'm just leveraging over my spine. I'm looking for the whole body swaying and the whole body getting an extension line. Coming back, over, and then towards the other side. You can do that nice and fluently. The next progression is just simply start with the legs a little bit wider. You're going to bend the knees very slightly, and from a side position, you would see it as this. Knees are slightly bent. I'm going to start with my first position, hand behind the back, finding the extension in my lower lumbar. From there, I'm going to bend forward, tailbone going back until I feel that first little bit of a stretch through my hamstrings. I'm going to go to my first exercise with a wider stance. I'm going to bring my right hand down towards my leg, use my first arm position, using my arm as a lever to gain extension. Then I'm going to come back. Then moving towards the other side. Left arm on my right thigh, and then rotate using my right arm behind me. If I was to do that facing you, my legs are wide, knees are slightly bent, and tailbone pushing back. From there, I start with my hands behind the back. I'm going to move my right hand down towards my left leg. So you see me shift my weight. I'm still looking forward as I'm doing it. Keeping my hand behind the back, using my arm as a lever. Then I'm going to come back to the center. Then I'm going to go to the other side, rotating, arm behind the back. Now for those people that feel they can move a little bit further, they can use arm position number 2, where they rotate, find that rotation, and they can lift their arm up into the air. Arm position 2. Coming back over towards the other side, rotating, scooping the arm up into the air with that rotation, and then coming back. So as we move, we can actually then start extending our legs a little bit further if you feel that you're comfortable. Over. Over. So some more extension as we go wider. Over. And then back, coming all the way up. Nice. So that's some very simple side bend maneuvers. Same token, rotation movements. Same token, this can be done in side bend. So with my side bend maneuver, there is still that side shift of my pelvis as I move over with a wider stance. Nice lengthening over and come back. So I'm looking for the shift of my pelvis, body moving over to the side and extending. Coming back. Together it would look like this. And over, 1, back to the center. Over, 2, back to the center. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, coming back. 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. And then relax. 2, 3. And gently bringing your legs back in towards each other. So this sets ourselves up for the first of the yoga series, which is more of a classic position, a triangle posture. Now in the triangle posture, you have your legs a little bit wider, where I just started with your legs a moment ago, and you just gently put one foot towards the side. Now, what I do a little bit differently here is I really want to focus on what my pelvis is doing and how I'm side bending. In this case here, I'm going to start with my hand behind the back. And I'm just going to simply slide my leg down the side. So my first side bend movement is going to be towards the side, but keeping that lower back in extension. So I've got my lower back extending, and then I use my arm to rotate so my chest is coming forward and through, and I can look up towards the ceiling. So you don't need to touch the ground. You just need to go use your leg as the ground, and use your leg as a lever to get better rotation and better extension through the spine, and then coming back up. Then I can go to the other side. Move my foot to the side, hand behind the back, sliding my left hand, in this case, down the leg, and then using my right arm to rotate, and then looking up towards the ceiling. You can keep that arm position, but if you're feeling comfortable, you can move to the second arm progression. Arm down to the side, rotate, and then lift the top arm up. Nice and simple. Coming back, center, and then over, arm to the front, rotate up, finding rotation and extension through the chest, hand down, and returning. Bringing the legs together. Good work. The key element behind a lot of what I would like to do is regain extension of the spine. When people sit down all day long, they often are in a flex position. And in that flex position, they put a lot of stress on their lower lumbar region. So here we're trying to regain extension through the lumbar, and most importantly, move the chest, plate, and thoracic region forward to regain better extension of the spine. Now, just to make it easy for today, we're just going to finish off with a couple of extra stretches that you can do in kneeling, which is really quite similar. So for this one here, we're just going to come down to the ground and then just start with our both legs on the ground. Now at home, if you need to have a chair on the side, it's really quite helpful to increase your balance. Now this series will evolve along as we go, but this is step one of the series. You're going to put your left leg forward, and you have the left leg just at about a 90-degree angle. Here, once again, I want to find this extension in my back. I'm going to go forward slightly in a lunge, and then put my hands behind the small of my back so I extend to begin with. From there, I want to hold that extension. I can put my hands onto my knee, push with my hands, and as I push with my hands, I want to feel my chest lift, head drawing back, keeping that lower back extension as your priority. And then I'm going to come back. You can then bring that knee in and then change it towards the other side. Going forward, keep the extension through the back, hold that extension, hands on the thigh, drawing the head back, and gently looking up. I'm not trying to overload my spine here, not trying to get my head and body right back. And relax. And that way you'll get a stretch through the hips and through the pelvis, down through the hip flexors. To increase that, we can bring the leg forward. First of all, going forward, feel that extension component. Hands on the legs as a balance point. Draw the head back, feel the chest and sternum increase. And here I'm going to use my right hand and lift my right arm up into the air to be a lever. Eye line up. Hold that position and then coming back. So now you're in that position. You can do maybe 3 of these little stretches. Pelvis forward, back extension, head drawing back, arm acting as the extra stretch. And then that's 2. Last one, going forward, head drawing back, lower lumbar and extension, arm acting as an extra lever to get the extension right down through my torso, through to the hip flexors, and right down the front of the quad, and then coming back. The other side, in this case here, and then go forward, keeping that extension, head drawing back. First set, just hands on the legs, just to warm up, and then coming back, going forward again, keeping that extension, arm coming up for an increase in the stretch and the length through that extension process, and then coming back, and then going forward, lengthening up, extend, and then back. Nice. Now, because your back's been extended, sometimes it's really nice just to gently rock down towards the heels and stretch the back as a counter bend in flexion. You can reach back through the ground if you're pulling the ground towards you as you round the back. Taking that nice, like a cat-like stretch through the small of my back, pushing my knees into the ground. I can extend from there again. Then I'm going to grab the ground and then nearly pull the ground towards me as I flex the back to counter bend. And then lengthen, extending through the lower back, finding my extension again in the small of the back, and then curling back. And then coming up. So today we've done some of the very basics, level 1 of the Physio Gym Yoga series. The key that we want to start learning from this is that the body wasn't invented yesterday. It's been invented, it was invented, we've been living through it through generations. There's a lot of methodology in principles and movement that extend, that come from very simple processes. In yoga, there is some wonderful processes, wonderful methodologies that we can learn from. But we need to prioritize the one important thing, and that is the spine and how that spine moves. And in our exercises, we want to think about how we work in extension or in flexions, and we don't overwork our spine. Everyone has their own ability, and in that way, you're doing your best.